Welcome to 12-Gauge Investigator.
In the shadows where the truth hides deep, echoes of the lost and the secrets they keep. Cold cases burn in the back of your mind. We dig through the dark, one clue at a time. This ain't fiction, this is blood, this is truth. 12-Gauge investigator, justice uncaged. We ask the questions they're too scared to say, shining a light where the guilty pray. From killers to whispers, we won't look away.
Hey, yeah, man. Once again, my name is 12-Gauge, and this is my channel, 12-Gauge Investigator. Hopefully, you guys will come into the live and check out the document that I was able to find thanks to my trusty person, warning label Nina. She's like on point with this stuff. So, Nina gave me the link for this because I could not find it. Um, I'm inviting her up here to help me go along with this. Well, there's dogs barking, there's all kinds of stuff going on. I swear. So you see the document, it says initial call out. It says Jeffrey Talbot, 700 South Stratford Drive, Meridian, Idaho, 208-884-7000, Idaho State Police. Location 1122 King Road. Said Detective District 2 successful. Arrival time 14/13/52. It says on November 13, 2022, the Moscow Police Department requested the Idaho State Police District 2 investigators to assist with a multiple person homicide located at 1122 King Road, Moscow. Latah County, Idaho, ISP Detective Jeffrey R. Talbot was assigned as the lead. And this is James Miller. Said the administrative information. It just came out. This just came out. So this says Idaho State Police investigate Detective District 3. It says on November 16, 2022, Idaho State Police detectives interviewed blank regarding multiple homicides which took place in Moscow, Idaho. The interview took place at Redacted in Boise, Ada County, Idaho. Victim 2, Kaylee Jade Gonsalves, individual, white female, age 21, 5'4", 150 pounds, sandy hair, brown color. Home 1122 King Road, Moscow, Idaho, 11/17/2022. Then it gives her operator license or her driver's license. So they have her as victim 2. Um, and it says victim 3, Mogan Madison May. It has her as a white female, 21, 5'4", 115 pounds, blonde or strawberry, green eyes, 21 years old, same residence, Moscow, Idaho. Victim 4, Xana Alexia Kernodle, a white female, age 20, 5'4", 116 pounds, brown hair, brown eyes, same residence. So as you can tell, there was 3 females right here with 5. They were 5'4". So if Koberger was 6 foot tall, you can't tell me that that is not a height difference. They're 5'4". And then it says victim number 5, Ethan James Chapin, white male, 6'4", 210 pounds, brown hair, hazel eyes, residence. His operator license was out of Washington. And then it goes to witness number 1. Hey, Nina. She went bye-bye. So the 3 girls were 5'4". Ethan was 6'4", so he was a foot taller, right? Witness number 1, it says individual, white male, age 22. Home was blank, Boise, Idaho. So this is a witness. 2020, he was 22, so I would say that was probably Hunter. Witness number 6, another white male, age 23. And then it gives their information, the property, evidence, non-drug, 11/17/22. In custody, yes, it was in custody. There's the tag number. Remember, we always talk about tags. And there's a description, buccal swabs from redacted, a biological sample. So they were probably given buccal swabs or DNA samples to take, non-drug. There's also a flash drive with audio, computer hardware, software, and the transfer was successful. So this is just the individual evidence that they're talking about here. So here's the narrative. Are y'all ready for this? Yeah, I'll send it on the email. Hold on a second. Y'all ready for this? Yeah, man. So we're going to read the narrative here in a second. Sending Nina the email. It says on November 16, 2022, approximately 3:16 p.m., Idaho State Police investigators Lieutenant Caitlin and I interviewed Redacted. The interview took place at his parents' house, located at Redacted in Boise, Ada County, Idaho. During the interview, Blank stated the following. His residence at school was blank, 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 Moscow, Idaho. His residence is approximately 200 to 300 feet from the location of the homicide. It had been a little nerve-wracking going inside his apartment. He knew some of the homicide victims. He knew Maddie Mogan, Dana Kernodle. He had met Kaylee the night before the homicide, but did not realize she was one of the victims until later. He did not know the male victim, Ethan Chapin. So who are we talking about here, Nina? Do you know?
No, these are, this is some of the really early suspects. I mean, we're talking, oh my gosh, there's like 1,000 of them. I mean, I've read all 560 something pages, and this stuff is unbelievable.
Okay. Well, we're gonna read as much as we can, right?
We've got all day because I'm telling you, there's some interesting stuff in here.
Okay. Well, I hope people come in here to hear it.
And
Maybe you might.
I don't, I mean, like I said, I haven't read that. I've read maybe 4 of the Moscow, but I'm telling you, these reports are so professionally done in comparison to the Moscow Police Department.
And that's who I was thinking. Somebody in the chat said JS. Okay. Yeah,
Right.
let's just give initials. We all know who JS is. So he said at this point in the interview, Blank's mother arrived home and was present for the remainder of the interview. He had known Mogan since their freshman year, and they were in the same pledge class for the fraternities and sororities on campus. Mogan had dated some of redacted friends and had positive interactions with his girlfriend in the past. He had classes with Mogan and they had done homework together periodically. He and Mogan had a lot of friends in common as well. He supposed he had met Kaylee prior to that night but did not recall specifically. He had never met Kernodle's boyfriend Ethan Chapin before. He heard Chapin belonged to the Blank fraternity. Chapin was also a year younger than Blank in school. Mogan was dating one of Blank's fraternity brothers, Blank, who Blank believed lived in Boise. Had spoken to Blank earlier in the day on November 16th. Blank is a stand-up guy. Mogan's previous boyfriend was also one of Blank's friends and is also a nice guy. He and Mogan were mostly just on and off Blank friends. Saturday night, November 12th, and into Sunday morning, November 13th, at the end of the game day, people went out to the bars. Blank ran into Mogan at the corner club. Mogan and Gonsalves were going to leave the bar and go to John's Alley and asked Blank if he wanted to go with them. On the way to John's Alley, Mogan and Gonsalves decided to get food at the grub truck instead. Blank was at the grub truck with them but was hanging out in the back because he was not getting any food. Someone in a silver sedan picked up Mogan and Gonsalves. He assumed it was one of their friends. He told Mogan to have a good night. The designated driver's shift had already ended at approximately 2 a.m. Blank had a good coat on, so he walked home. He thought it took him 20 to 30 minutes to walk home from the grub truck. He got home around 3 a.m. and went to bed. It showed on a map on the way he walked home and the way he described did not pass the residence of the homicide scene. Okay, so I'm going to read this without saying redacted or blank and all this other stuff, okay? So, um, don't think that I'm trying to just not discuss who it is because, yeah, like I said, just put the initials in the chat if you know who I'm reading about because I don't want to really talk about anybody up here on the panel. Sunday, November 13th, woke up around 10 a.m. to watch NFL football. He left his house and went to Floyd's, a dispensary across the border in Washington. He couldn't remember if he went to Floyd's before he started watching football or if he started watching football, then went to Floyd's. He thought it was weird because he drove past the scene on his way to Floyd's and didn't see any police or anything out of the ordinary. He drove whatever vehicle he drove. Do you know what vehicle he drove, Nina?
No, I do not.
Okay,
I know something was said about a silver sedan, and
okay,
then something. Yeah, it was 2 different cars that they mentioned, but I don't think I ever knew because all I ever knew of him was walking.
okay. So it says during the morning, people called him to see if he knew what was going on down the street at the homicide scene. He didn't believe them and walked outside to see. He had to walk down the street to see the residents in the homicide scene. There was a rumor of an unconscious person, which seemed believable. During the group chat between the pledged classes from fraternity and sorority, kids realized people were missing, and something more than a person passed out might have happened. Most of his chats are via Snapchat. Some of the family members of the victims started letting people know about the homicide before the news did. He heard a lot of people were packing up and leaving. He felt jumpy even leaving his apartment and walking out to his car. He would be able to do his classes online, so he packed up the next morning, Monday, November 14th, and left. And that kind of goes, I'm glad that this is being talked about because there were so many rumors about him packing up that night and going to Africa, correct?
This definitely clears a lot of people.
Yes. So if you'll watch the chat, if there's any questions or any comments that I need to address, or you can address them while I'm reading, that's fine, okay? Because
Okay, we got it.
I'm on the other page and I can't see the chat or any questions
That's
or
fine.
anything.
That's fine. I got you.
Okay. He had only been to the residence where the homicide took place maybe once. When he did go there, he was pretty sure it was all different people living there. He heard there was a party there earlier that day that some of his friends went to. So I believe that to put Jack or JS in the mix as he was friends with these people, close friends, was just speculation on freaking YouTube part. He was not that close to these people, as people stated. It doesn't
I think it
seem.
even says that he didn't know Ethan.
Yeah. Okay. It says he went to the corner club by himself because he had friends who went there and worked there. Mogan and Gonsalves were the only ones in the group who left the corner club and went to the grub truck. One of the victims, only Mogan and Gonsalves, were out at the bar. He believed Kernodle and Chapin were still underage. He thought the car in front of the house looked similar to the one that picked him up that night. It seemed like a friend that picked him up, not a random person. People usually use designated drivers from their fraternities or sororities. He thought maybe Kernodle and Chapin might have picked Mogan and Gonsalves up. He doesn't usually go to parties, he usually goes to the bar. He heard a rumor there was a party at the victim's residence earlier. Kernodle sometimes would get a little crazy with partying, and Mogan just uses alcohol. Goncalves, he thought, just drank alcohol only. He doesn't remember meeting Goncalves prior to that night. Okay, so here's a person right here stating that those three drank. He didn't say they used drugs. There wasn't any mention of drugs in that paragraph right there. After the incident, he heard rumors Gonsalves having a stalker. Any girl who belonged to the sorority should know about the stalker information. Mogan and Gonsalves, he believed, both belonged to the sorority. Blank had an ex-girlfriend he was trying to get back together with. For most of the past few years, he had a girlfriend who went to a different school, so he hadn't been hanging out with a lot of people regularly. Blank had no idea who could have committed these homicides. Usually, the craziest thing that happens are people getting MIPs and DUIs. He hadn't heard any rumors about why this could have happened. He thought the only reason someone might have acted out like this is for love. He heard there are videos of him at the grub truck with Mogan and Gonsalves. The grub truck live streamed video on Twitch TV. News outlets have identified him from the video and have called him. Wow, this is pretty interesting. It's awesome to hear his words. It really is. So it also says he left Moscow Monday morning around noon. He traveled home by the way of Ontario, Oregon, instead of New Meadows because he doesn't like driving through the mountains. With consent, I collected buccal swabs from him. Had no apparent injuries to his hands, forearms, head, or neck areas. The interview ended at approximately 4:02 p.m. So there is an audio recording of the interview. The buccal swabs and the audio recording of the interview were submitted into evidence under tag number 22-0004140 as item 1 and item 2 respectively. And this is the administrative information. This is another interview that was done. This individual, the summary says, on November 17, 2022, Idaho State Police Detective Lieutenant Catlin and Detective Sergeant Hoaxey conducted an interview with blank. The interview was in reference to the murder of Madison Mogan, Kaylee Gonzalez, Anna Cordodal, and Ethan Chapin, which occurred at 1122 King Road. We know all this stuff, so I'm not going to read the victim names or the address every time. We know where it's at, we know who they are, we know the date. The interview took place in front of blank's residence located at blank in Boise, Idaho. And we know that Mogan was the victim number 2, and this is the victim number 1, age 27. And the property, they took buccal swabs. They also took electronics, or radio, TV, home electronics. And here's the narrative. It says, on November 17, 2022, at approximately 1:02 p.m., State Police Detective Lieutenant Catlin and I conducted an interview with blank. The interview was in reference to the murders on 1122 King Road. The interview took place in front of blank's residence located in blank, Boise, Idaho. Blank reported the following during the interview. On November 12, 2022, he woke up, stated watching college football, and then went to the gym. His roommate, blank, had a dart tournament at the Moose Lodge, which is next door to the Corner Club. At approximately 5 p.m. and 6 p.m., he went to the Moose Lodge and started drinking. Moose Lodge had a veteran special. They were at the Moose Lodge until approximately 9 p.m., and then they went to Mingle's Bar and Grill for about an hour. After Mingle's, they went to the Corner Club, but at this point in the evening, he was intoxicated. He did not remember getting kicked out of the Corner Club, and he did not know why he was kicked out. So this individual got kicked out, and I'm sure y'all know who this individual is. I don't have to do any research. Y'all know, right? At approximately 11:21 p.m., he and Madison Mogan took a picture together while they were at the Corner Club. Mogan sent it to a group text to blank. He also sent a photo with a text message saying, "Get to the club." He didn't remember taking the photo and Mogan and didn't remember who Mogan was with. This was also the first time he'd seen Mogan outside of class and school projects. He didn't remember much from the evening, but said he walked home from the Corner Club. His address was blank, Moscow, Idaho. His roommate blank got home around 1:30 a.m. to 1:40 a.m. His other roommate blank told him he got home about 30 minutes before, approximately 1 a.m., and that was the end of the night for him. His roommates are redacted, which were a couple. On November 13, 2022, he woke up at approximately 12 p.m. He learned of the incident through a vandal alert that afternoon, which explained the situation. An hour after receiving the first vandal alert, he received another which told him there was no suspect and to remain vigilant. A third vandal alert was sent out that evening while he was at work, which had details of how many victims there were. He didn't know Mogan was one of the victims until Monday afternoon when he received an email from his professor of marketing. He, Mogan, and blank are in marketing at the university and work together on group projects. They were working on a project for blank, which was a cafe in town Mogan worked for. When they worked on projects together, they would meet and work in the basement of the Albertsons building on campus. He had never been to Mogan's house and didn't know until recently where she lived. He worked at blank in Moscow and has worked for blank for 8 years in total. As he transferred colleges, he moved stores with blank. His boss said the store carried old K-bar knives, but they were an older clearance item. He didn't know what kind of sheath a K-bar knife would come with. He didn't know Kaylee and didn't remember seeing her at the Corner Club. He didn't know any of the victims besides Mogan. Mogan was the only person from the house he spoke with, and it was mainly related to class projects. He had only talked to Mogan approximately 4 or 5 times throughout the school year. They mainly used text messaging to communicate. He read us the group text he, Mogan, and Blank used. The last text from Mogan was the photo and text message at the corner club. Responded the following day, which was the last text in the thread. He was also attending his last semester at the university, and he thought Mogan was going to finish in 2023. He started college at Treasure Valley Community College, transferred to Utah Tech, and from 2017 to 2019, he started attending the U of I. In 2019, he joined the Army Reserve as a culinary specialist. After 2 years, he went back to U of I to finish his schooling. He never heard of any issues Mogan had with anyone. He did not know if Mogan used any narcotics. They never spoke of anything personal. He didn't have a car and walked wherever he needed to go around the campus. He rode the bus home to Boise and borrowed his brother's pickup while he was in town. He did not have any injuries to his hands, arms, or face. At approximately 1:36 p.m., he consented to a DNA sample. Idaho State Police Detective Millar arrived at the scene and collected a DNA sample from him, which I took custody of and submitted it into the evidence for processing. At approximately 1:38 p.m., we concluded the interview. So do you have any idea who that was?
No, none.
Okay.
There are so many redactions. Look, we know the main one is Koberger. We
Right,
know who the victims are. We know who the survivors are.
right, right. This is
So,
interesting, though. This is
yeah,
interesting.
I mean, but I'm telling you, when you know how the other night when Enton read that 3 pages of Dylan's statement.
Yeah.
Oh no, no, no! That thing's like 10 pages, and it's full of information.
Well, we're getting there. Do you know which
Oh,
page
I
that
know.
should I should I keep reading this as it is?
Well, I mean, these are just going through everybody they talked to. I mean, some of it. I mean, it's good because, like with Showalter, it says
Right,
no, he did not go to Africa. No, he did not do anything wrong. You know what I'm saying? I mean,
right,
so to me, in that aspect, it's good. Now it's according
right,
to if your people just want meat and potatoes.
right. Well, this is the thumb drive of the IV switch. It says on November 17th at 12:05 p.m., myself, Idaho State Police Detective Victoria Gooch and MPD Sergeant Dustin Blaker interviewed Blank at her residence in Boise, Ada County, Idaho. The interview occurred with the attorney present via computer, an attorney in Moscow, Latah County, Idaho, with the law firm Sullivan Law Offices. The interview was also audio recorded by me and Sergeant Blaker. The thumb drive of the interview was assigned, and there's the assigned tag. The audio file is the interview has been downloaded onto the thumb drive on November 18, 2022. The thumb drive was remained maintained in my sole care and custody into evidence on November 20th, 2022. Blank
And
stated,
I do want to say, Gage, that I don't want people to start getting the wrong idea when they hear that the lawyer came with them or whatever. I mean, we're talking, these are people that are coming in and getting questions about a quadruple murder. I would definitely take my lawyer.
right, right. I hear you. I hear you.
I mean, I don't want it to come off as, oh, they lawyered up. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Well, this person is a sophomore at the U of I studying pre-physical therapy. She has been a University of Idaho student for both years, freshman and this year. She has been residing at the residence where the incident occurred since August 2022. Her friend Blank and she moved into the residence, and other female roommates she knew through their sorority, Maddie and Xana, prior to this year, and had also met Kaylee before, but Kaylee belonged to another sorority. She explained Kaylee was a senior in school. She described Xana as being a year older than herself. She also described two additional friends, blank and blank, but they were not residents in the house. She explained that she was introduced, blank introduced her to Xana last year. Both blank and blank reside in the blank apartments on the campus that houses sorority members. She described the layout of the residence and where each of the roommates resided, paraphrased based on her description of the residence. When you walk in, there's a door, there's downstairs with a bathroom and a bedroom. When you walk into the door, there's a hallway with her bedroom and the kitchen and the sliding door. And upstairs is Kaylee's room and a bathroom and Maddie's room. Xana is on the same floor as her bedroom. Initially, she was asked to describe what the girl did on the 12th of November, but she described there was a ball on Friday night, November 11, 2022, a Pi Phi sorority ball, which she briefly attended. She explained she started drinking at 4:30 p.m. on the 11th. She described individuals at the ball, including all of her roommates, as well as Ethan and his, I would say, girlfriend. And then she named a lot of people and their dates who were Fiji fraternity members. Kaylee Gonsalves was, I guess, her date for the ball. I would say this is probably DM right here. She described how she got home on a Friday night by using an Uber from the Pi Phi ball. The residence, she explained she and the roommates normally have blank as their Uber driver, but not on the night of the 11th. She did not remember the name of the Uber driver on Friday night. This was around 8:30 p.m., so she had been drinking for 4 hours at that point. She explained she and her roommate trust blank. She advised the party initially transitioned to blank, but she got bored and wanted to go home. It was she, Maddie, and Xana, and Ethan regarding the roommates who attended the ball. Eventually, a group from the blank Phi event transitioned to blank and other roommates' house, and there was a party that continued there until the early morning hours of November 12th, Saturday. She requested to look at her cell phone during the point in the interview to verify the timeline. She was advised she could use her cell phone to provide time during her interview. She advised the other individuals that came into the house on Friday night were blank. Initially, she said it was blank, but corrected herself to say it was no blank, but redacted, who came to the house, and redacted as well as herself. They were consuming large amounts of alcohol and playing music. She went to bed a little after 12:10 a.m. and then added she went to bed sometime between 12:10 and 12:30 that morning, November 12th. Eventually, she advised Maddie and came home and eventually Kaylee Gonsalves, but she was not certain about where Kaylee was when she went to bed. She then explained on Saturday morning, November 12th, at approximately 12:15 p.m., she and corrected the time to 11:44 a.m. The roommates went together to get coffee and the store to get more alcohol. They still had champagne from the previous weekend, which was, she explained, was the U of I Parents Weekend. She explained the plans for that Saturday night included a blank Chi fraternity party on campus. She explained Kaylee was not going to this function because she was a senior, and typically seniors do not attend the fraternity functions on campus because they are old enough to go to the local clubs. She explained she was going to the Chi party. She further explained at one point Maddie was at this function but left the function to go to the club with Kaylee. They were all at the house together at 5 p.m. on Saturday, November 12th. She stated Kaylee decided to go and take a nap, and blank, Maddie, Xana, and blank, and she was on the couch watching a movie. She explained they were all together Saturday afternoon at the house and they decided to take naps, and each of the girls set their alarm for 8 p.m. She believes Ethan may have come over to the house at this time, but she was not certain if this is the time Ethan came over or if he showed up at a different time. She explained that she had an assignment due in her Psychology 215 course, so she posted the assignment at approximately 10:12 p.m. She believes she then left the house at approximately 10:30 p.m. Saturday night. When they left the house, Kaylee was still there with one of her friends. However, she did not know the friend's name. She described the friend was female and was nice. After leaving the house, she saw Maddie between their residence and blank, and Maddie was holding a box of White Claws while she was walking toward their house. She advised she talked to Maddie, and then blank continued to the Kai function. She believed Maddie was going back to the residence to get ready to go to the club with Kaylee. Sergeant Blaker asked Blank to give more details about the route she took when she encountered Maddie, and she provided those details in this interview. I think this is pretty cool because this kind of gives everybody who's been asking, what did this person do? Where was this person at?
Oh
And she
yeah,
gives
I mean, it pretty all this pretty much explains what the whole King Road area was doing.
yeah, yeah, it's pretty descriptive for sure. Unlike anything we've read before, right?
Right.
She further explained after she met up with Blank and the two of them then went to the apartment. She was with Ethan Chapin and Xana during part of the night and explained Ethan had been trying to get in contact with his sister because she had been upset about something and he was worried about her, but she did not know what the issue was. She remembered Blank told her brother she had not been answering her cell phone because she had been sleeping. She described Ethan as being very protective of his sister and as well as protective with all of the roommates. The group of them then went to visit Blank, who she said previously met through Xana and then was also there, including she, Blank, 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 were also there, as well as Blank and Blank redacted. When asked how much alcohol she had consumed, she explained she had been playing Rage Cage, which she described as a drinking game. And when she awakened from the nap, she consumed 3 White Claws with an alcohol content of 5%. She denied there was any drug use and stated Xana and Ethan used blank. She advised neither Maddie or Kaylee did drugs. She explained she nor blank never touched that stuff. So Xana and Ethan probably used the blue powder, whatever that blue powder was, right?
Yeah. Xana was prescribed Adderall.
Okay,
That's the reason that the toxicology comes back to no illicit drugs is because she had a prescription.
right. That makes sense. Um, she described the alcohol use at blank and blank residence, which included consuming a whole Borg, in which she also consumed some of the Borg, based on a Google search I conducted relative to writing this report. A Borg is an alcoholic beverage which requires taking an empty gallon container and filling it halfway with water, adding vodka and enough MIO to make the taste of vodka disappear. The cocktail is often referred to as a Borg, but the nickname doubles as an acronym that stands for drink's full name, Blackout Rage Gallon. She described blank blank as being extremely intoxicated and that she had continued to consume alcohol and because of blank intoxicated condition. This person was advised she invited blank to come back to her residence and her to watch movies, and because of the intoxicated condition, she called a Sobro, which she described as involving a sober freshman fraternity member who is a designated driver for fraternity and sorority members who are consuming alcohol to drive them to their homes safely. She advised it was only she and blank that went back to the residence using the Sobro. She did not believe anyone else was home. When the two of them got home, which she believed was sometime between 1:15 and 1:30, November 13th, she was intoxicated. And because of that, she did not remember what time it actually was, but she believed it was between the two times mentioned. So this is 1:15 a.m., 1:30. They supposedly were all there by 2 a.m., right? She further advised she made popcorn in the kitchen and she and blank watched Vampire Diaries together. Approximately 20 minutes later, blank returned home. The three of them lay down and continued to watch Vampire Diaries. She believed blank may have walked home, and then she advised she did not know what time blank and blank went to bed. She had already gone to bed and does not know when blank may have left or when blank went to bed. At approximately 2 or 2:30, she awakened because Maddie and Kaylee arrived home with grub truck food, and they had mac and cheese, which explained they normally got. All four of them were together, which included blank, 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 and blank. Blank advised they were taking selfie videos. All the girls talked about getting grub truck food. She did not believe Xana and Ethan were home because their bedroom door was open and she did not see them, and she discussed whether she may have been mistaken about this fact. And then she said she was certain she saw their door was open and they were not home. So they weren't home at 2 o'clock or 2:30.
Right.
Just the girls upstairs, right?
Right.
Okay. Then she went to bed, which she advised was after texting. We know the guy, the Uber driver, which was in the documents. Blank looked at her phone to determine what time she had texted the Uber driver and said her phone said 3:10 a.m. But after further discussion, she admitted she was confused about whether she was using Moscow time or Boise time, and explained her timeline may be off by an hour because of this issue, specifically during this interview, referencing Boise time instead of providing the time it would have been in Moscow when these events were occurring on the 13th, which makes a lot of sense. She would be interviewed in Boise,
Right.
so, she could have been looking at her watch or whatever. And
And see, when I was reading them, I would get a little confused because they'd say like 2:15, but then they'd say 3:15, and I was like, "Whoa, wait a minute,"
yeah,
So I just sort of started saying, "Okay, forget the times. You already know the timeline." you know.
yeah, because the discrepancy is based on where she got given the interview.
Right, exactly.
She explained she uses Snapchat as well as her cell phone to communicate with her friends. She advised if there is a lack of text communication on her cell phone, it is because she had transitioned to using the Snapchat app for her method of communication. She advised her login information with Snapchat is blank and her password is either blank, 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 blank. She denied knowing her roommate's password to their cell phones. While they were together, they talked about ordering grub truck, and she then texted blank the Uber driver at approximately 3:10 a.m. She explained she texts blank, "Are you driving by chance?" At approximately 3:13, blank texted her back. She then went to bed. She did not believe blank ever came to their house because she never responded to his text about the fact that he was still driving. She ghosted him. She advised blank the Uber driver is in his 30s, is married, and has one child. She advised all the girls knew him and liked him. Blank advised she is not certain if she stayed awake to watch more Vampire Diaries episodes or if she went to sleep. She was not certain if she locked her bedroom door, and she was not certain if she locked the sliding door, because she was the one who usually did. But she also volunteered in her statement that she believed Moscow was a safe place, so the sliding door was not always locked. She did not remember if anyone locked the sliding glass door before she went to bed. She was the first to go to bed ahead of the other roommates. She explained that she previously has had a lot of dreams where she had been kidnapped in her dreams, and she further explained these types of dreams started in high school. And she knew they were dreams, and she would let those things happen in her dreams because she realized they were dreams. She advised she does not suffer from anxiety and denied prior life trauma other than divorced parents. She explained she was awakened to a noise sometime between 4 and 4:20 a.m. She was asked to explain the amount of alcohol she had consumed before going to bed, and she again explained while she was playing Rage Cage, which included the White Claws, part of the Borg, and maybe 2 or 3 more drinks, White Claws at the house, which we could see in the photo. There was 3 White Claw cans on her nightstand. Whether they were from that night or another night, they were still there. She denied drinking after she left the blank house. She advised she had been consuming the alcohol until approximately 1:15 to 1:30 on Sunday morning. She denied drinking any more alcohol after she and Blank got home to her residence. So you do understand that it takes an hour and 45 minutes per ounce for alcohol to be broken down in the liver. So that's quite a bit of alcohol based on her physical stature and her weight. All that has to be taken into account. So she technically could have been still intoxicated at four
And
o'clock.
see, I think you heard me say people are like, well, why didn't Ethan wake up if he was just passed out? And what people don't realize is alcohol, being passed out from that much alcohol, is only like one molecule difference between anesthesia.
Right, right.
I mean, so passed out from alcohol is a whole lot different than just being asleep.
So she stopped drinking at 1:30 and went to sleep. That's only about 2.5 hours, right? So she'd
Right.
still be technically intoxicated.
Oh, definitely.
At 4:22 a.m., she confirmed this information by looking at the text communication on the cell phone. She texted Kaylee asking her what's going on. She advised her phone said 5:22 a.m., which she advised would have been 4:22 a.m. Moscow time. So when she went to Boise, her phone changed the time to Boise time, obviously.
Right. And see, I think that a lot of times it would stay on Boise time. I guess it didn't automatically update or something like that because
Yeah,
she talks in several parts of these about, that her phone didn't change over.
right. She advised around 4:20 a.m. or 4:20 a.m. she heard Kaylee singing and playing music. She heard who she believed Kaylee walking up the stairs and advised she heard Kaylee say, "Someone's here," and she sounded frantic. Blank described Kaylee's tone as somewhere between talking and yelling it. She believed it was Kaylee who was walking up the stairs with Murphy. She said she heard who she believed to be Kaylee running down the stairs. She advised Murphy was barking at this time. Blank advised she had been redacted. She did not believe Murphy is normally a barker. She further stated she believed it was Kaylee who was running down the stairs after she heard her say, "Someone is here." She further explained she did not know if she actually heard this or whether she was drunk and did not actually hear any of this. She heard the footsteps of who she believed to be Kaylee. She explained all the girls wear Doc Martens and that is what she believed she was hearing Kaylee coming down the stairs wearing her Doc Martens because of the sound of the footsteps coming down the stairs. Blank called Blank at 4:19 a.m., then Xana at 4:20, Kaylee at 4:20, and then Blank again at 4:20 a.m. Blank advised Blank told her about seeing fireworks. She texted Blank the last time at 4:27 a.m. before she went to the Blank room. Blank then explained when she first opened her door and she said she did not see anyone. The second time when she opened her door, she heard who she believed to be Kaylee crying and believed Kaylee was in the second floor bathroom. She then heard a male voice, which she stated she had never heard before, say, "It's okay. I'm going to help you." Blank believed the unidentified male was in the bathroom and with the person who was crying, so I believe that was Xana. She believed it was Kaylee who was the one crying. Blank stated, and now she would gather additional information. She now believed it was probably Xana who was crying. At the moment of hearing the crying, she stated she believed it was Kaylee who was crying. She advised she knows the male's voice was not Ethan's. She described the last episode of Vampire Diaries and she remembered there was two males rescuing a female. She explained it was not violent. She advised the male figure in the last episode was wearing all black, but Blank explained that was normal for the series. She is not certain whether she heard Murphy barking during the first time she opened her door, but she advised it was possible he was barking, but Murphy was moving away from the house. She described Murphy with a puppy, and blank had just met him in August. She could not describe Murphy as being skittish. She advised she opened and closed her door a total of 3 times, and the 4th time is when she left her bedroom to go downstairs to the blank bedroom. Let me ask you a question. This part right here, Murphy, he was barking, but Murphy was moving away from the house.
He was
Do you,
outside.
do you believe that Koberger put him in his vehicle until he finished doing what he was doing?
No, I think Murphy had ran out the slider from fear and was barking while he was running. And if you think about it, he could have been running toward Jack DeCoeur.
True, true. That's interesting right there. And that was also, they also mentioned the fireworks in here.
Right. But
Um,
that's the first thing I noticed was she said that he was that he was going away from the house.
right. Blank advised and continued to call her and text her roommate, but received no answers. She provided the times she called and texted her roommates, and the time span she advised would have been between 4:20 a.m. to 4:27 a.m. She advised she never thought about an intruder, and in her mind, she stated she was not processing what was occurring as threatening. She advised she believed the male was directing his conversation of who she believed was Kaylee. She advised she did not believe the male was directing the statement to her. In discussing why the offender did not harm her, it would discuss that it was possible the male knew her and wanted to protect her, and she said she understood that was possible, but she did not knowing who the suspect was. Blank further explained that she Snapchatted Ethan but received no answer from Ethan. Blank thought Ethan was still either at Blank Kai or was at home. She was not certain. The 3rd time she opened the door, she said her vision was blurry or fuzzy, but she advised she saw a figure of someone who was dressed in all black and they were masked and he was holding an item of what she initially perceived was a vacuum. But she said that did not make sense to her. She described the suspect as not being muscular, not being skinny and toned, but being skinny and toned, like a basketball player. She further described him as being taller than her, 5'10" frame, but at least 3 foot. Well, at least 3 foot. So he would have been 6 foot in height. She advised he had to have heard her call Kaylee and Xana, and she thought he would have had to have heard her calling for them, and she was confused as to why he did not come to her room. She described the item the suspect was holding, which she advised was like a cylinder, and she remembered a cop talking about a bow. So she was trying to ascertain if what she saw was in fact shaped like a bow. Further stated she thought that maybe it was a firefighter because of what Blank told her about seeing a firecracker. She advised he would have been approximately 3 feet away from her, and she believed she saw him walking out the back sliding glass door. He had looked at her before walking out the back door. She was not certain if he could see her whole body or just her head. At 4:22 a.m., then Blank corrected her time and stated at 4:23 a.m. she advised she texted Blank and they conversed about someone wearing all black. And Blank said something to the effect of, "What the fuck? Why is Xana wearing all black?" Blank explained she was not certain if she had been dreaming this or if it was real. Blank explained she saw the suspect holding something she believed to be a cylinder shape and also shaped like a triangle at the bottom of the cylinder shape. She advised the suspect was approximately 3 feet away from her, and he looked at her, but he was walking out the sliding door when she saw him. She said she saw his eyebrows. At approximately 4:23 a.m., she texted Blank to tell her she saw a masked suspect in their house. Blank responded at approximately 4:25 a.m., telling her to come to her room, and it's better than being alone. Blank then left her bedroom after opening her door. the fourth time and ran to blank bedroom downstairs. She advised when she left her bedroom, she looked down the hallway to Xana's bedroom and could see Xana laying on her back in her underwear, but she thought at the time Xana was passed out. She stated she never went into Xana's bedroom, and she could only see Xana from the hallway as she was running to get to the bedroom. She advised she was too scared to go into Xana's room, and she knew Blank was awake, and she knew to go there because she was scared. She saw Xana was wearing her underwear, and she explained Xana was comfortable enough with her roommate that she would wear her underwear around them, so this was not unusual. When asked about the lighting conditions inside the residence, she advised that possibly Xana's light was on, or the party lights were on, and that is how she was able to see Xana, because otherwise she would not have been able to see her laying on the floor without any lights being on. She was not certain if the bedroom lights were on, but she was not certain what lights were on, if any. She advised that Xana did not say anything. She stated she did not think anything was wrong. She later offered she may have been able to see Xana lying on the floor because they also had a Sensi light, and it could have been she was able to see Xana from the Sensi light. She explained she had been trying to determine what was real from everything that she had been talking about with Sergeant Blaker and myself. She advised she knew the time with Blank, Kaylee, and Maddie were real because she has the video of them together. She was not certain how Blank got home that day. She further explained she had been trying to piece things together because some things do not make sense to her. She stated that she had been truthful, but some of what has been discussed, she is not certain is factual. She had been working through it to try to remember what happened. Blank was asked if the female who was crying was saying anything, and she advised no. The female was only crying, and the male was the only one talking. She described the item the suspect was holding was cylinder shaped and was also triangular shaped. She could not remember if the lights were on or off when she encountered the male suspect. She advised she did not know if this is even something she saw or it was something she dreamed. She advised the last time she saw Xana was at Blank House at approximately 11:04 p.m., confirmed by checking her cell phone. Xana had been holding a White Claw. She was at 12:49 a.m. She further advised Xana and Ethan did not stay at Ethan's house with any frequency. Because of Ethan's grades, he could not reside at the fraternity. He had his own apartment, but she did not know where his apartment is because she had never been there. She knows Kaylee and Maddie were home when she went to bed, and from when she saw Xana laying on the floor, but she was not certain about whether Ethan was home. She advised she left Blank house at approximately 12:49 a.m. to return home. Blank stated she is certain that 3:11 a.m., which through discussion might have been 2:11 a.m. Moscow time, Kaylee, Maddie, and she were all at the house. She was not certain about Xana and Ethan because she did not know when they came home. She denied perceiving a threat even after encountering a male in the hallway. She said there were people coming in and out of the house all the time. She denied remembering what his face looked like and said she could see that his head and mouth were covered, but she could see his eyebrows, and further advised she was not certain she could see his nose. When asked if she knew what about balaclava was, and she said no, so I asked Sergeant Blaker to show her a picture of a balaclava from his cell phone, and upon looking at the picture of a balaclava, she said it could have been, and that could have been it. She does not remember seeing his mouth or his nose, but she could see his eyebrows. Oh my goodness. You want to read a little bit?
I do want to say a lot of people are saying, who cares about the Doc Martens? Okay. And I think the point they're trying to get across about the Doc Martens is because her room was right there at the stairs. She knew the sound of the boots on their feet, because the boots are heavier, you know. Now, keep
Right.
in mind that it may not have been them, it could have been Coburger, and because of his weight, it sounded like the Doc Martens.
Right. When asked if any of her roommates told her about prior incidents involving anything that concerned them, and she advised Kaylee had told them and other roommates about an incident a month prior when she was outside with Murphy about a subject who had been watching her. The subject was in the apartment above the girl's residence. Blank further explained that 2 or 3 weeks ago, while at Winco, Kaylee told her about a male subject who followed her from the Winco store all the way to Kaylee's car. Even when Kaylee went to leave, the subject was standing by Kaylee's car. Also, 2 or 3 weeks ago, all of the roommates went to Starbucks together, and when they got home, the front door was wide open, and they do not believe it had been open when they left. She explained there were prior issues with the front door, so she said it was possible the door opened because there had been a snowstorm, and she explained possibly the wind caused the door to open. Also, when they got home, the washer was going, which she described was not unusual, but it also concerned her. She explained because of these things, they went to get Ethan's golf club to protect themselves when they searched the house. Blank explained weeks prior to the 13th, Kaylee told the roommate she heard a woman scream, but no one else heard it. Wow. Blank was asked if she was telling either Sergeant Blaker or I anything to prevent us from solving this, and she advised no, that she understood my question, and she advised that she knew she did not sleep through the whole incident because she has text communications and other things that she knows would have required her to be awake. She advised she knows what she heard, especially about hearing who she believed was Kaylee crying, and the male voice telling her he was there for her. She stated again she does not know how much of what she had been telling us was not factual because she is still processing the events. When asked why she believes she was spared after the male suspect saw her, she said she does not know why, and she did not believe anyone ever tried to open her door during that time he was in the house, and he could have easily had done so, and why he would have passed her by her room multiple times. She volunteered that to come through the sliding glass door, the person would have had to scale a tall wall. She advised the suspect would have known her room would have been occupied because he appeared to have known the layout of the house. She also said it could have been someone who was in the house last year when other girls were living in the house. She advised there was no one she knows who would have wanted to hurt the girls, and the girls were loved by everyone. She said she had never heard even rumors which were negative about any of the victims. When asked about Kaylee's ex-boyfriend, she advised the breakup was mutual, and they have their dog Murphy in common, and JD comes to the residence and plays with Murphy, and he and Kaylee continue to be friends. When asked if they co-parented Murphy, she said yes. Kaylee told her relationship with JD had run its course. She thought they had handled the breakup well because every time he came to their house, there did not seem to be an issue. She brought up the name Blank, but she mispronounced his last name during the interview, as someone she and the others believed might be involved, but she was reluctant to say he was a suspect because she knows how damaging to his reputation that could be if he were not involved. She advised she was told by Blank, Dana's best friend, that Blank once punched a friend of theirs, Blank in the stomach last year, but Blank did not know the circumstances as to why. Blank advised that recently Kaylee started talking to Blank.
That one right there, the ones where she says that she mispronounced his name, and
Sarah Cho,
I know we're not going to say names, but I wondered
DB,
if it was,
DB,
huh, DB?
yeah, DB,
Yeah, yeah,
Baraclava.
yeah, yeah, Barracloga.
um, it said Blank advised that recently Kaylee started talking to Blank, and JD seemed okay with that. Blank offered her DNA. Sergeant Blaker secured a swab at the conclusion of the interview. She advised it might be difficult to locate the offender DNA because they had conducted a deep clean of the residence leading up to the parents' weekend. When asked about when the deep clean of the residence occurred, it would have been before the weekend of the crime. She was advised there was evidence left in the residence, and she sighed and said she was glad to hear that there was evidence found at the scene. So they swabbed her, which I believe they would have. I mean, people make it sound like she was not swabbed. You know what I mean?
Oh, honey, they swabbed everybody. I think everybody in Moscow, Boise, I think everybody was swabbed. They should have just lined up tables on the outside of the courthouse or something and let everybody come give their DNA.
Does anybody have a calming reading voice that would like to come up and read? Because, I mean, I want to
God,
keep
I would
going,
love to, but I've been reading these
but
things since midnight last night.
when asked if she would be able to provide a description to the police composite artist, she said she would not be able to describe enough of the suspect to be helpful. She further advised the only thing she remembered about his face was his eyebrows were bushy. Well, somebody was yelling to the camera the other day that she did not see his eyebrows. And I was like, what? Why are you yelling that to the camera? You know damn well she saw his eyebrows. You know damn well she saw his eyebrows.
Yeah, she didn't hear when she was listening to the person reading that. She did not hear the not. She did. She heard she did not see the eyebrows, and she
Right.
never went back and re-listened to it.
She advised she was confused about why the offender would have taken the patio door out of the residence because of the drop off from the patio. She advised she
And
remembered that go ahead.
that confused that same person. But what she's talking about is she thought he went in through the balcony, and so she was like, "Well, the drop off would have been if he went out the same way."
Yeah. She advised she remembered the cars do come by the residence a lot, and she said there was a black truck driving past her window. And she further said she was not absolutely certain it was a black truck, but there was a vehicle that went by the residence that she could see the taillight, but she did not remember if the headlights were on. But what drew her attention to it was the red lights on the back of the truck. And when asked if she meant brake lights, she said yes. When asked what occurred after she went into the blank bedroom, she said they eventually fell asleep, and when she awakened, she would lie next to blank in blank's bed. So people take out of context also that um, you want to read Firefly? Here's the link. Come on up. I'll let you. Um, People take out of context that the investigators are asking probing questions. So all these answers where they're kind of going back and forth is due to that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, because a lot of it is repetitive, but that's the reason they do that is to make sure they get the same answers.
Right. When asked what occurred after she went into the bedroom, she said she fell asleep. And when she awakened, she was laying next to blank BF in the bed, I'm pretty sure. She advised a friend of theirs, blank and blank mother were planning a memorial event, and that helped her emotionally. She advised blank is crying a lot over this, but she had not been crying, and blank has explained to her why she had not been showing emotions. She explained blank used the word dissociate to describe her emotions, which makes perfect sense.
Some of this is about to get interesting.
Good, good, because we've read this before. Um, she advised at approximately 11:23 a.m., then corrected the time to 10:23 Moscow time, said she texted Maddie asking her if she was up. At 11:29 a.m., Moscow time, she texted Kaylee, "Are you up?" She could tell her Snapchats were not being read when she was texting them through Snapchat. She advised she called Blank, one of her closest friends, about what happened that night with the masked man. Blank then explained when she reached out to Blank in the text message, which Blank told her was at 10:50 a.m., but she thinks was mistaken, told her she would send to their house because of their concerns about what occurred during the night. When HJ got to the house, which she described was before noon, she is not certain if he came in through an unlocked front door or had to use the code to the front door to get into the residence. And when he got into the house, he asked about the location of a knife, and she directed him to a knife. Well, if he went in through the front door, that front door was open already, supposedly. A
Well,
neighbor
I
had
don't know. In one part, she talks about that they were in the house with the door shut. But then in another part, she talks about being outside. And you can tell that she is so confused on everything. And she's trying so hard to piece it all together, but none of it's making sense to her.
Well, since it didn't make sense to her, it doesn't make sense to a lot of people who are just tearing it apart.
Well,
But,
they're tearing her apart at the same time to
right. Where I got that the door was open at 8:30 was from the very beginning. A neighbor was walking a dog and saw the door supposedly open at 8:30 in the morning, and then they came back a couple minutes later and it was still open and nobody was, had
I
closed the
do
door.
I do know that Firefly and Dolphin and Kylie are in here and they have been reading these as long as I have. And I haven't come across that witness with the door yet, but they may can say if they have found it.
Okay. She advised she initially went upstairs from Blank's bedroom with Blank, and she advised when she saw Xana, she realized Xana had not moved since she saw her earlier. She was still thinking Xana was still passed out from being drunk. Blank then sent Blank downstairs. She advised Blank and Blank came over after Blank came to the house because she had asked him to come to the house. She advised Blank then came downstairs and she could tell by his facial expression he had seen something, and he told them to call 911. Blank was the one to call 911, and Blank at one point said she was on the phone with police dispatch and that the dispatcher was asking her about a defibrillator. They told dispatch there were people unconscious, denied seeing Xana or any other victim bodies. She advised they stayed in the house when police arrived, and the police, were putting the tape up when they realized there had been a crime. And when they saw the ambulance arrive and leave, Blank told them they would not leave unless there was no reason to stay. She then advised the vandal alert came out, and that is when they finally realized their friends were actually gone. She advised they all realized there had actually been a murder committed in their residence. She said Kaylee had a balcony and she remembered looking at the pictures in the news and Kaylee's curtains were all messed up. She thought the distance of the balcony to the ground may have been too much and brought too much attention if that is how the suspect made entry into the house through Kaylee's bedroom. When asked if she checked the house for anyone else when she initially came home for the night with Blank, and she was asked if she had to unlock the front door, and she advised she believed she had to unlock the front door to get into her residence. She advised when she first got home she remembered the sliding door was closed, but she did not know if it was locked. She advised when she first got home she went to Kaylee's bedroom to let Murphy out of Kaylee's room, and Kaylee's lights were on, and no one was in Kaylee's bedroom. Murphy came back into the house after going outside. Sergeant Blaker asked about the login and username for the router to Wi-Fi at the residence, and Blank advised Kaylee was responsible for that bill. She further explained she nor Blank were responsible for the Wi-Fi bill because they had just moved into a residence in August. Blank had some follow-up questions for Blank outside of the interview, and as a result, the audio recording was turned off at 2:11 p.m. the same date. This witness is a female, Hispanic, Mexican Latin descent, age 21. Boise, Idaho.
I think that is going to be, oh my gosh, Kendra.
Okay.
Kendra's one of the original six that moved in, and she had graduated and moved out around the same time Ashlyn Couch did.
She lived at blank King Road across the street from 1122 King Road house. One
I
of the
guess I'm
people
wrong.
one of the people across the street were the former sorority sisters. One who was a classmate, the other two people she knew through mutual friends. She knew Mogan Gonsalves the best. Her boyfriend was best friends with Mogan's boyfriend, so they hung out a lot. This was the current relationship. Mogan was in class with her. Is this Emily? Gonsalves was
No, Emily and Hunter and Ethan and Xana were the four that hung out. This one may be Lake Campbell's girlfriend because his best friend was Jake, which was Maddie's boyfriend.
she knew Xana Carnota and Ethan Chapin in passing. She had lived at blank King Road for just one semester and is currently a senior in school. She lived in a sorority house for 3 years, and this is the first year outside of the sorority. She had been inside the 1122 King Road house multiple times, with the last time being in September. They came over to her house more often. She had known Mogan and Gonsalves for 3 years. They met through recruitment. She saw Mogan and Gonsalves Saturday night. They went to the corner club after the game. Mogan and Gonsalves were already there when she arrived. She was there for a couple of hours and was really drunk. She left before Mogan and Gonsalves. It was sometime around midnight. Gonsalves had jokingly mentioned she thought she had a stalker at Winco. It had happened once and was an unknown person. She heard from another friend an instance in the house of the door at 1122 King Road being opened after all the roommates returned from a weekend trip. She had a basement room and can see the 1122 King Road house from it. She woke up at 9 a.m. on Sunday morning. She didn't hear or see anything that night. 1122 King Road didn't have a party on Saturday night. They may have had one Friday, but it wasn't crazy. Mogan and Blank were a solid couple and had dated for a year. Blank was with her boyfriend in Boise that weekend. The interview concluded at 12:52. This person is white female, age 21. No, that's Maddie. Um, this person knows those four. Person 22, white male. On November 18, 2022, at approximately 11:55, Chris Pohanka and I interviewed Blank. The interview took place at Blank residence located in Buell, Idaho. He relayed to us the following. He is a roommate with blank blank. He has known Kaylee since freshman year. They were in the same pledge class, so they've hung out together periodically over the last 4 years. He has visited her house in Coeur d'Alene once. He knew Xana as well, but not as well as Kaylee. He also knew Maddie as well, but didn't hang out a lot. Kaylee and Blank had been dating since high school. They're on and off and have broken up twice. They have recently broken up because she accepted a job in Dallas. So they were setting things up before she left after the semester. They broke up about 2 months ago. He never heard from Kaylee about anyone stalking her or giving her bad vibes. He had heard there was someone following her out at Winco a couple months ago. He heard from friends she had someone follow her out of Winco to her car. He had heard the story from Blank, a sorority sister of Kaylee's. Blank is in California right now, and her phone number is blank, 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 blank. He works at Redacted in Moscow, so he saw Kaylee, Maddie, and Blank leave together that night. That was the last time he saw them. They said they were going to John's Alley, so this is AL, I believe. They said they were going to John's Alley and were trying to get some friends to go with them. They didn't end up going there, though. He didn't know where they were before they showed up at blank. He had seen Dana at some parties, but didn't really know her very personally. He tried to recruit Ethan into his fraternity, but otherwise didn't really know him. He doesn't know of anyone who might have wanted to hurt any of them. They were all really nice people. Blank wouldn't have harmed Kaylee. He loves her and thought they would be married. They have a great relationship, even when they were not together. He is a calm and kind person. He's into sports, not an outdoorsman. He doesn't have a knife. He had never heard Blank even say anything bad about Kaylee. There's an apartment complex behind the victim's house that has a lot of sketchy people in it. There are registered sex offenders living in it. That place is behind Blank Apartments. There are windows facing the girl's house and it's adjacent to it. It's a brown brick apartment complex. We concluded the interview. I think I'll do one more, Nina,
Hey,
and then we'll
I'm telling you,
then,
it
then we'll talk. Then we'll,
it's a lot. You may want to. I don't know if you can get to the link or not, so you may want to just drop the link in the chat
yeah, let me see. You gave me that
because
link.
it is a lot. I mean, there's one part of it to where uh, um Dylan, you know how they're bullet pointing her statements.
Mm-hmm.
Like one of the bullet points is completely redacted out. You can't even read the sentence; it's so redacted. But me and Dolphin was reading it last night, and we think that that's going to be some kind of psychological diagnosis and stuff like that because of the way she's talking.
Oh,
And it really gives you, if you really read Dylan's, because there's like 3 or 4 statements. And when I say statements, I mean like 5 and 6 page statements. And I mean, she's very, she talks about that since high school, she had been having dreams of being kidnapped, how she, calls people over there if a pan falls. She's a very skittish person,
yeah.
but
We
that
I read that.
she had gotten to where, and I think that's the reason that she didn't call 911 was because she imagined stuff so frequently. You know what I'm saying? That it was like, oh
Yeah.
well, it's just my head messing with me.
So are these the document that Brian?
These are the 600 that Brian Hinton got.
Okay, these were the ones he was reading the other night.
Yes, all the ones from the teachers. I mean, I don't know if I sent you the pictures, but it's a picture of a farm on Highway 95. And after Koberger got arrested, a little old lady called him and said, that's him, that's his car. In the wee mornings, he was pulled in my driveway and I don't know what he was doing. And it was on Highway 95 and she has a pond.
Yeah, man.
Yeah,
So
buddy.
I might read some more of these tomorrow. I'm not going to promise anything. If I can get somebody to read for me, I'll come live and you can read and then I'll read. But I don't mind reading. It's just a lot. It's just a lot.
Kylie says, I have doc fatigue.
Yeah.
Look, I'm telling you, these came out. Let's see. Let me tell you how I got these. This is a funny story. So, you know how they always say, keep your enemies closer?
Hmm.
Well, sometimes keeping a pro burger closer be, because there's a certain pro burger that I'm part of their Discord group. They know who I am. They know I'm a guilter. They know I don't pretend with it. I don't go in there acting like a fake pro burger. But they still like me. And so last night, I mean, there's over 700 people in there, so there's always information. And so there was the link, and I was like, oop, I'm swiping that and sending it out.
Glitter said she'll read. Here's the link. Come on up.
And
Unless
then
you.
Kylie had gotten them. I think Kylie had gotten them, then Chloe had gotten them. So we were all three like in between 11 and midnight and 1 a.m. last night, sending documents out and then reading them and everything. So we've been going at this since last night.
Well, I downloaded them on my phone last night. But then when I went to download them today, it was downloading all that BS from that other case.
Oh, I know. I couldn't believe that.
I was like, what the hell is this shit?
Oh, good. Glitter's coming.
Okay, I'll wait for you. We'll talk until you get back. Yeah, I
But
want to read. I
there
want
are
to read some more, but I don't want to read. You know what I mean? It's like,
Yeah, see, I'm like I'm like Kylie and all them. I'm just like, okay, I'm laying here listening, watching chat in case there's any questions or something like that. But man, to read some more, I just don't know that I could do it.
because you know what? I speed read. I don't read like
See,
normal.
that's how I am. I speed read. Last night, me and Dolphin was going through them, and she was like, "You are way ahead of me, girl."
Yeah, I learned how to speed read during my first semester because there's so much you got to read. And I mean, if you read every little pronoun, noun, adjective, all that, it's going to take forever, you know?
But yeah, I mean, yeah, because it's what 556 pages.
Let's get Brian Enton to come read it. He was reading quite fast.
Or that other person.
Who?
That way she can yell at the screen.
Yeah. You know exactly who I'm talking about, don't you?
Oh yeah. I thought I was gonna die. I was like, rewind it. You didn't hear the knot in the I mean, you heard a knot in there and there wasn't a knot.
That's from the same person that said the Nancy Grace that said he was going to do an appeal.
Right,
It's like, do you not listen to what people say?
right, exactly. But I'm serious, the more that I hear her describe the cylinder and the triangle, I think that it's the K bar upside down.
That does make sense. That does make sense.
Because the tip would be shaped like a triangle.
Because those K bars have a screw on top, so they usually have matches and you know the little stuff in that screw in. So that makes sense. It could have been. It could have been.
Hey Aquarius,
Aquarius, you want to read?
everybody want to read?
Aquarius, you want to read?
Glitter's gonna read. Aquarius gonna read. We're gonna get Texas up there and let Texas read.
Yeah,
Texas can read while he mows the grass.
yeah, buddy.
Rondi's got a good voice. All of them do. I think everybody ought to take 15 minutes apiece.
Yeah, man.
No, I don't mean he was carrying it by the blade, Texas. Um, what it is she's talking about that all she can see is the top of it being cylinder and then the tip of it, the bottom, being like a triangle. Well, if you turn the K bar knife upside down and maybe you've got one of those generic jumpsuit thingies, like wrapped around it to where all you can see is like the little cylinder top and then the point, then that would look like a cylinder and a triangle. I don't mean he's like carrying it by the blade.
I mean, he could have had the clothing
Right. That's
wrap,
what I'm
wrap.
saying is all she saw was like part of the cylinder, which is the handle, and then the tip, because the way that the tip would come down, it would come down sort of in a triangle if you just glance at it. I know it's a point, but If you're not thinking K-bar, it might look like a triangle.
You're thinking tip.
Yeah, it's just the tip.
God, stop it. Stop it.
But did you get the picture that I sent you where all that was highlighted?
Hold on. I'm going to show these. Yeah, I did. You
Okay,
see
see how
the.
that tip could look like a triangle? Okay, so it's a little curved triangle. But so you got the one where I highlighted it in all blue, talking about all the blood splatter going down the hallway and all that.
Haven't got there yet.
Oh, I sent it to you.
Haven't looked at it yet. I've been doing stuff today.
Oh, well, you can't have a life outside this.
Look, this thing is $104 now. Amazon is cashing in.
I think that he may have, I think, the generic, they're not cloth, they're the throwaway coverall things. I think that he may have worn like two or three of those, and that when he got finished with his last victim, he may have taken it off, wrapped it around the knife, and been holding the knife upside down. And that's what she saw. And I think that that may be the reason that he didn't attack her, was he was like, damn, I've already took my shit off. I can't get in my car with blood all over me. I'm tired. I just want to get the hell out of here. And I don't need to get all the blood in the car, so I can't attack her.
Well, between him and Danny Rowland, I mean, they made this knife pretty famous.
Oh
I mean,
yeah. And did you
they're
know
not.
Gray Hughes, and I know a lot of people don't like him, but he made a very good point about the sheath, that he may have left that as like an homage to Danny Rollins.
I think he didn't do it on purpose. I don't believe it was a calling card.
Well, I
I,
used to,
be- I believe that he left it in a hurry. He
well,
got.
yeah, I used to think that maybe he did it being cocky, but then the more information I received, I was like, nah, he
Because I
messed up.
mean, people want to put stuff together. I mean, I did that Danny Rowland thing a long time ago, not because I wanted to connect them, but they have such similarities in different areas. But so does Stephen McDaniel, and so does Bundy, and so does some of the others. I mean, they all
Oh
broke
yeah,
into these homes.
I think he was just crazy. Okay, so while you're reading that, okay, it says, as you go up to up the stairs to the second floor, you enter a small living room area. There's a folding table set up on the west side of the area, partially blocking the entry to the west hallway. The table had multiple red cups. As I walked west from the living room, there was a half a wall to my right. Multiple drops and runs of red liquid along the entire half wall. Across the half wall, I saw more red stains on the wall above the first and second floor staircase. The stains and liquids were consistent with cast off and appeared to be blood. Continuing west down the hallway, there was a bathroom to the left, with the hallway ending at a bedroom. On the north wall of the hallway near the bedroom door, there appeared to be a red colored transfer mark at approximately my shoulder height. So there's all kind of blood that we just can't see. And there's a whole page of it that I've got highlighted.
I got to go back to your. Let me. I just closed that freaking document I was reading.
Oh my gosh.
I did. What the F, bro?
Yeah, Chloe actually got them from a source. I mean, she went and got them from like Enton.
What?
Yeah, she knows somebody that knows Enton, and she was like, "Hey, I need y'all to get those documents." So she got them from a source.
What
I,
page was
I,
what
I stole them, and then she got them from a source,
I
which
wanna know
I don't guess
I
is
want
stealing if you get a link off of a public page.
yeah, I wanna know Brian Enton.
I think he would be cool.
The Dirty Goat. What a bar, the Dirty Goat.
Okay, Glitter says, "Okay, I'm right here. I'm trying to get Chad to pull up on my laptop." Oh, Chad, not Chad. If not, I'm going to do it from my phone. Yeah, Chloe's got the inside scoop. She always does.
Glitter. Glitter, glitter, glitter. There's 25 people in here.
Yay,
Welcome,
us.
welcome everybody who's in here and who's just outside watching. Y'all come in and say hello. Be sure to hit that like button. Not if
Shoot,
you like. It's not
the,
if you like me or Nina. It's if you like the content in which we're.
oh, hell, I'll take thumbs down.
You don't need your chat window. Oh yeah, you do to get the link. My bad. Thank you, Freddie.
A lot of them saying what we mess up. We're not going to mess it up because we're just reading.
Yeah, that's all we're doing. Yeah,
I may,
man.
I may give some takes of my own, but Freddie, you know what we are. We're good together. We're like brother and sister or something. We like argue, fuss, and fight, and hate each other, and do a live the next day.
I wasn't gonna go live until I saw this last night. I was like, shit, bastards.
I sit there and thought about that. I was like, let's see if Gage don't go live this weekend.
Yeah. Oh, somebody mentioned that we use foul language and they can't
Who
watch
the
because of
fuck?
our foul language. Yeah. And juvenile laughter and all kinds.
We're in true crime, and you can't handle foul language.
I guess these people are from another channel where they get trigger warnings and stuff.
Okay, y'all do know what true crime is, right? It's not people going out and robbing ATM machines. Well, I mean, I guess it could be, but I mean, there's usually something a little worse than that going on in true crime.
Yes, you hit enter studio and you can turn your cam off if you don't want the cam on. There's glitter.
Hey, Glitter,
You're muted.
that damn mute button.
Hi, glitter.
Kylie's already got new earbuds. My gosh, Kylie, you are quick.
100 kids and 20 adults.
Yeah.
She's here, but I don't know if she hears us. You have your mic on?
Jason says, "Who gives a shit?" Trigger warning, foul language.
Someone
Wait a
had to
minute. I
remove.
don't have to give a trigger warning. I come with my own warning label.
No, we can't hear you. It says someone had to remove their Chucky doll because it triggered someone.
What? Oh my God. Mountain Mama. Squirrel. Squirrel, squirrel, squirrel. Nina, can you hunt down VK's birth certificate? I sure will, and I will send it to you.
You have it?
I think I do.
Glitter was here, but she's having technical difficulties. So, Aquarius, you want to come read? I don't care which one of y'all does it. I just don't want to do anymore.
Just skim through them.
It's cool because it gives you a little notification at the top when somebody comes in. Wow, what is
Aquarius.
that?
Aquarius says no, thank you. I think Leslie should come up and read.
Glitter. Turn up your volume. Maybe that's what it is.
Oh, is she back up? There she is. Sorry, I was on the comment page.
Turn up your volume. Maybe your volume's down.
Pump up the volume, Glitter.
I'm jealous, Aquarius. I'll probably go to the pool tomorrow.
Oh my God, a pool. Honey, my legs hadn't seen shorts in 20 years, much less a bathing suit. I don't think Omar the tent maker makes bathing suits.
You know, I don't know how true it is while we're waiting on Glitter. I read that this guy who identified as a Ford F-250 pickup got ran over in Branson, Missouri by a guy who, and he passed away. He used to like
Oh,
wear,
you may have to. Hers is doing the same thing as mine. You may have to email it to her.
okay.
You know how sometimes when mine, yeah. So when I just now read the back chat, and yeah, that's what's happening is that echoing and everything. So if you'll email it to her, it won't do that.
Okay, hold on. Yeah, man. Well, look,
See, there's reasons you keep me around.
there's truth exposed. I haven't seen you in forever.
Yep,
Glitter,
there's
where is
definitely truth. I see her with her bird finger. I am triggered. You will have to remove that bird finger. I'm triggered. That's a joke, truth.
I can't remember Glitter's email.
Glitter.com.
Hold on, I have some emails from her. So entertain entertain the kids while I'm doing this.
Kylie says that she's had 3 pair of earbuds. And no, I've had 3 pair in a month. Yeah, I hated your ass for a hot second. She's talking to you, Gage, not me.
I'm looking for Glitter's email. Hold on.
Oh, okay.
Entertain the kids while I'm
Entertain
getting.
the kids. Well, y'all, these documents right here, they prove a lot of people wrong. They prove a lot of people right. They confuse you. they, oh, wow. They are stock full of everything.
You know, one thing I can tell the subs is I'm glad I'm not monetized anymore. It is so freeing not to have
Did
to
you
worry about
did you
what you.
know I was so stressed over not being able to get monetized, because that was going to be my income.
Right,
And then when I started watching JB Gunner and he's like, I can say and do anything I want to because he does his own links and stuff. And I'm like, wait a minute. So they don't control him because he's not messing with their money.
right.
And I was like, wow, he's sort of kind of smart in that.
because all the stuff that I've been like with the Danny Rowland and all that other stuff that I've been doing,
Yeah,
uh, they would have blocked that. But since
exactly.
all they did was age appropriate it, that's it.
Right.
So I'm happy about that. I don't think I will. I don't think I'll try to get monetized again. It's a pain.
And I mean, I'm like you. I don't do well with like if I'm live of saying, okay, if y'all want to support my channel and you like what I do, here's my links. Now I can
Right.
do it for you. You know what I'm saying? But on on my own channel, it's like, oh, I can't say that. I mean, I might have to get somebody to record it for me at the beginning or something. If y'all like Nina's content and you like her research and you want to support her channel,
There you go, Glitter. I sent you the link, so go grab it.
yeah, tell her to go completely out of YouTube and go strictly from the email.
Yeah, we haven't seen Truth exposed in a long time. I was asking somebody the other day if they seen her around. I've seen what's her name? J Lord over on Dago's chat.
Who?
John's other mod, J Lord. Yeah,
Oh, I don't know who that is.
yeah.
Truth says she hated your ass for a hot second.
Well, that's good.
Hey, at least it was a hot second.
At least you were honest, right?
That's right. That's all we can all be.
If I don't make somebody mad at me or whatever, um, then I'm not doing my job. You know what I mean? So I'm glad you're back, Truth.
That's the good thing about over here is we may have disagreements and stuff, but we all come back together. That's what family does, though.
She's over in Dago's.
Yeah, what did you think about that video I sent you about Dago yesterday?
I haven't watched it.
That's it. I need another link to send to people. I need some. I'm not sending Gage anything else
Where did you send it to
on
Facebook?
Messenger.
Let me see. Let's see. Let me see if
Every time I ask him, "What'd you think about it?" I didn't watch it. I didn't read it. I hadn't looked at it. Oh my lord, I ain't seen that name in forever. Truth.
which one was it?
It's the one where I said on the bottom of it, I put, "Did you know about this?" It's oh, what's the girl that was on the live with me and you and Swamp?
Oh, Crime
Sleuthy
Sleuthing?
Goose. Sleuth.
No, Crime Sleuthing.
Yeah. I mean, it's from a long time ago. Leslie says, "Do you want to see Nina? You want to see? What do I want to see, Leslie?"
Which
Leslie
messenger?
scares.
Which
Leslie scares
messenger?
me.
Which messenger did you send it to? Facebook? Send it
Yeah.
again because I didn't get it. I don't
All right,
see it.
hang on.
Glitter. You're here, but you're not. No, we can't hear you. Right before you go to enter studio, you have to click that microphone on. Unclick it because it will be turned off if you go in without unclicking it.
Well, it was right there. I just now copied it from your page on Messenger.
Hold on a second.
Oh, and I don't care if you play it on here. It don't matter to me. It was just, I was like, where the heck did that come from?
Oh, Crime Sleuth then, yeah. I'll have to go watch that. she was
It's
on his
re-
she was on his show for a while.
it's really, really interesting.
Yeah, she was on his show for a long time, I heard.
I actually sent it to Jeff H because I was trying to see if he could clean it up and tell me if it's whose voice it is. And he came back and said, I commented on your video, but I don't know what video.
Okay, let me continue on. It says Mogan was in classes with so and so's friend, blank, blank, blank. The girls would work on group project at the blank sorority. Blank knew Xana Kernodle, the victim, through mutual friends, and knew Ethan Chapin the same way. Blank is still in a sorority but does not live in a sorority house. Blank lives in a house which overlooks the backyard of Gonsalves. Describes how her room looked directly to the sliding door of Gonsalves' house. I asked Blank if she was around the victim the night of the homicide. Blank was with her friends and and began their night at John's Alley. Blank took a phone call from Gonsalves to come down to the corner club. Blank and her friends went to the club. Blank friends slowly left from there and went back to their houses. Gonsalves and Mogan were still at the club with Blank. Gonsalves and Blank were planning on going to John's Alley to continue the evening. Blank was talking to another friend and noticed Gonsalves and Mogan had left. Blank went to the grub truck, the wandering kitchen, no set location in Moscow area, and believed she was about a half hour behind Gonsalves and Mogan at the truck. Blank even had the same Lyft driver as Gonsalves and Mogan. Sergeant Cortez asked if she had any further contact with the girls, and she didn't. Blank and Blank fell asleep in Blank's room. She went to Blank's room for the night. She thought she remembered hearing music, but was not sure. She would have been able to hear if they were having a party. Blank got a video from her friend, Blank on her bed snoring. Blank tried to listen to the video to see if she could hear anything in the background, and she couldn't. Sergeant Cortez asked if she was aware of where they were before the corner club. Blank thought they might have come from their house. Thursday night, Gonsalves wanted them to go out. Saturday night, everyone was out. She said the girls usually like getting ready together. Sergeant Cortez asked if she was aware where they were Friday, and she remembered there was a game. She thought a couple of them went to the game, but was not sure. A couple of them went out later. Sergeant Cortez asked if she knew where they were Friday, and Blank knew Thursday night was asleep overnight at the Blank house. Gonsalves was not able to attend since she was resigned from the sorority. She thought Gonsalves was at Coeur d'Alene, Idaho, and she told her to come back. She thought Gonsalves came back Friday and showed people her car. She did not believe they did anything Friday night. Sergeant Cortez asked if Gonsalves ever mentioned anything about a stalker. She described Gonsalves as a person who would just joke things off. She believed there could have been a time where she mentioned something. When recruitment for sorority was over, Gonsalves went over to Blank's house. They were talking and catching up. She thought she mentioned something, but Gonsalves pushed it off as a joke. She could not remember anything specific from the conversation since it didn't seem like a big deal. She thought if Gonsalves would tell anyone about something strange like a stalker, it would be her ex-boyfriend, Blank or Mogan. Blank and Gonsalves grew up together and shared a dog, Murphy, together. Sergeant Cortez asked Blank if Gonsalves said anything once her and Blank broke up, if he would want to hurt her. Gonsalves described Blank as her child and was not a serious guy. As her child and was not a serious guy. Blank was in Blank fraternity and they all hung out together since they lived next door. She describes Gonsalves and Blank as a brother and sister relationship. They shared Murphy the dog. Sergeant Cortez asked her if she thought Blank would do anything to hurt her, and she believed he would never do anything to hurt her. Blank was described as a city guy, and she did not think he did a lot of outdoors. He was from Coeur d'Alene area and grew up with sisters. Sergeant Cortez asked Blank if she knew anyone that might have wanted to hurt them in their circle of friends. She said their circle was interesting, and that's where it kind of stumps everyone. Because this group of people would probably never have been friends if it wasn't for the housing situation. All of the roommates' friends would meet each other and have friends hang out with friends. Sergeant Cortez asked if there was any mention of strangers around the house. Blank spoke about one of the prior tenants to the house. The house had a weird feeling to it, however. It was from several months ago. Sergeant Cortez asked if she heard anything the night of the homicide, and she normally would. They were referred to as the party house. They would normally hang out in the backyard and play loud music. The night of the homicide, everyone had gone elsewhere to hang out. The sliding back door was considered the front door to the people who would visit. She didn't know if the back door was locked or unlocked. She talked about how the kitchen area, living area, was the main place for them to hang out. The door was usually open for people. She did not know of any large knives in the house. Sergeant Cortez asked if Gonsalves told her about someone following her at the Winco. She had not heard anything of the story. Sergeant Cortez asked if she knew of anyone who we should talk to, and she was having a hard time recalling anything. She talked how Gonsalves and her would go out randomly and could not think of anyone to talk to. Sergeant Cortez asked if she knew of anyone Gonsalves was romantically involved with after JD, named blank blank and a blank blank who are both blank. She did not have any contact information. She did not believe any of the males mentioned would have anything to do with the homicide. I told her if she can think of anything to assist the investigation to call. She mentioned how she would hear the dog Murphy bark, and she never heard him bark that night. Blank had the television on and thought she had gone to bed around 3:30 a.m. She would be able to hear anything going on in the house since the windows are really thin. Blank could even hear conversations in the backyard. Sergeant Cortez asked if another roommate would have anyone who would want to hurt them. She thought everyone in the house were amazing people. Gonsalves' boyfriend blank blank was in Boise. She spoke very highly of him. Coronado and Chapin were a newer relationship and usually partied with the blank. Coronado knew a lot of people and did not have any enemies. Blank and her friends created Instagram accounts and had their profiles private. Lately, they have been getting a lot of traffic. She added people can make fake profiles and it would be an easy way to stalk people. She mentioned a profile which had a pretty girl in the profile picture. The profile had been around for a long time. The name on the profile was blank blank. She did not know if the profile was real or fake. At approximately 12:55 p.m., we concluded the interview. Okay, y'all remember page 27. That's where we're going to stop. What do you think about all this, Nina?
Oh Lord. So you're on page 27 of 556.
Yeah,
So you're coming back in what, about an hour?
no. There's plenty of other creators I'm sure that are reading it too. So y'all can go check those out if y'all can get past the BS of all the
Well,
fake
I would
drama.
say. I mean, I know you're not just going to put them down and forget about them, right?
No, no.
So
Might take might
as
take
you're
us a month to read them.
if you're just going to, I mean, if you there's a lot of interesting stuff. So if you come across something interesting, and you think that it's enough, I'm available to go live.
All right, sounds good. I'm just gonna go enjoy what I can that's left of my weekend. I mean, this
Oh
is
yeah,
interesting. This
I
is
can't do
interesting.
anything. We've got thunderstorms.
Yeah, this is interesting, but it'll be coming out as it comes out.
Oh
But
yeah,
that
there's real life.
600 documents, Jesus, that's like a textbook.
It's worse than that.
Truth, I wanted to give you some prop because somebody mentioned what you said that night in chat. I don't know if you're still in here, but you said it's fine. I'm what'd you say? It's fine. I'm going I don't know what you said. Something like it's fine. I'm going to help you or something like that. It's fine. I don't
Yeah,
know. Put it back in the chat if you remember what you said. It's fine. I'm going to kill you or something. I don't know. Something of that sort, she said.
it made
But
sense.
yes, the reason I was thinking about it was because it was in a document said that way. And I
Right.
was like, wow. Truth was right on point with that statement. I mean, that should show that we have a lot of intellectual people in this chat. We
Oh
really
yeah, I
do.
mean, that's the thing about it is, we may have little chats and stuff like that, but there's a lot of intellect.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, that's why we clash heads a lot of times because I think we're all pretty stubborn and hard headed to our beliefs. And I think that's yeah, no one's gonna help you. Yeah, no one's gonna help you. Something like that. It's okay, no one's gonna help you.
Right.
Something like that. I don't know. But that was interesting when that came out and I was like, wow. But yeah, this is definitely interesting. I mean, it's definitely putting a lot of pieces together. And it's interesting to probably see the other side as they call themselves. I'm not going to call them that name. I think those two names are stupid.
Oh
Um,
my gosh, you wouldn't believe how some people are twisting these.
no one is going to help you. Yeah. What'd you say?
You wouldn't believe how some people are twisting these, though.
Yeah, I can believe it. I can believe it.
I mean, it's like, see there, did you see? That's what she said. No, y'all are reading it wrong.
Well, that's why I'm reading it and showing it at the same time. There's some people don't even read it as they go along. They're reading it without showing it to the people so they can say what they want to say. You know what I mean?
Mountain Mama, I agree with you. Mountain Mama says, I enjoy the smaller chats with people bouncing ideas and thoughts off of each other.
Yeah. I'm
I
cool
think
with
I
that
like it.
too.
I like it like that because it involves everyone.
Well, even if we had
I don't want to
even
be
if
the
we
only
had
one.
even if we had 500 people in here, I would still get to know 500 people. I want everybody to feel included.
But
And
that's
no
what I'm
one
saying is I don't want to be the one that's just sitting up there that everybody's listening to.
right, right. I get you.
I just want to be, I'm only the one that with the microphone and stuff like that. It's everybody's chat.
Exactly. Exactly. But one thing for certain, is like I could see why those other
Oh Lord, we
people.
done gave Freddie a migraine.
Oh, Freddie. Um, I can see why those other side, whatever they call themselves, would want to stick to their narrative, just like us. Just like I said, we're stubborn and we're hard headed. We want to believe what we want to believe. But like I said last night, there's a difference between intellect and illusion or delusion. If you're creating an illusion that this happened a certain way and you're still sticking to your it wasn't his car, it was the cop's car or a white or a green car or this, that, and the other. um is even after the fact, that it's not that. So why still say that? Why still
Right.
say stuff like that? Or I heard somewhere that they were having Morse code with those two lights that you were stuck. That there were people in those houses, at that house across from 1112, and those two
Oh, I
lights
know, I know, I
blinking
know who you're talking about on that one too.
were Morse code, so that they would
Oh,
be ready to go and attack the people in the house. They were
yeah, the third window and the first window.
yeah, they were signaling to them
Yeah.
that everybody was home. It's time to attack.
Oh my gosh, go enjoy
This
your
was
weekend.
this was a hell of a operation. It is more tactical than any other freaking military attack that I've even heard the military do. You know what I mean? It's like, man, this was a hell of a mission, I tell you.
Oh, I want to see the sci-fi part of it and the real part of it.
You know, from the what the hell did these four people do to deserve this type of military presence? You know what I mean?
Kaylee was looking up the slimy uh, pedophiles.
Maybe that's what it is. Maybe that's what it
Yeah.
is.
So the pedophile ring got together and took her out. That's a lie, y'all. Please don't take that to another chat.
Hey, glitter.
Is it working?
Oh my gosh, it's glitter.
Yeah,
Oh my
yes,
gosh.
yes,
Oh,
it's
wow.
working.
That was crazy. I don't know what I did, but I was just clicking shit. Oh, wow. I thought you guys were
Well,
gone. I thought you thought I ditched you.
well, possibly tomorrow if we got a little time, we can read a little more. I'm
That sounds
thinking I want to go to the pool tomorrow, so it might be tomorrow night. So
That's good. That's fine.
yeah,
But does it sound
PK,
does that microphone sound okay? I mean, I've never heard myself on this. My
yeah, you
laptop.
sound all right. You sound all right.
Okay. This laptop is like way old.
You're fine.
Well, at least I have it figured out. So I promise I will read for you tomorrow night.
Well, don't ghost us. We're gonna hold you to it. We're
I'm not.
gonna hold
I
you
really.
to it.
I know you thought that, but I'm not going to ghost you. I promise.
All right.
I will.
all right, y'all make sure you come back tomorrow night to hear Glitter read the document.
Like a child.
All right.
Okay.
All right.
Thank you for being
Have a good
patient.
Saturday.
Thank you for
Bye
being
bye.
patient. Bye.
Take
Oh,
care,
bless her
Nina.
heart. She went to all that trouble.
Take care, Nina.
All right.
All right. Well, you know what comes next, Maestro. Cue that music. We bouncing.